when their backs are to the wall. But the big thing is even if Ruddy win this, the next game, it's only one game until they lose. They've got to win 3 games in a row without dropping a single game. And they've lost 2 games pretty decisively to Nord. So Nord definitely got that settle in their wins. As we head into Champs, I like to see what's going to get taken away. The Yasuo ban by Nord.
Okay, I think you still got to respect it, right? You still got to respect it from MV Carry. It is, you know, sure you're able to put it down in the first game, but it is still MV Carry's best champion, and you are on you're on blue side this time around, so might not necessarily have the same kind of draft shenanigans to answer it. Wouldn't be surprised to see the rel ban as well from Ruddy. I don't think you want to give that one over to Indecision or Seneca. Indecision has played it before. And it's absolutely the style champion that he likes to run. So lots of power picks here that Ruddy are going to have to opt into banning to avoid being first pick from Nord.
So already we're seeing the issues that come from being on red side a little bit here. You have to take away just certain OP champions. At this stage, Nord still have Azir, Xayah, Rel as all possible first picks. They take away the Rel, but 2 of those picks that they played in game number 1 absolutely slaughtered Ruddy with, that got banned away in game number 2. One of them is going to get through here, and it looks like it's going to be not 1 but 2. Hido's Xayah could very easily just be taken off the board.
Forgot about that Jace. It's been banned all series actually by Nord on that red side. They go blue side. They really value this here. Omen, I mean, I have no reason to doubt him. He's been the decisive factor in both these 2 games versus Ruddy. We've seen the power of Jace. Obviously, Spike's a little bit later than the likes of like a Tristana. You kind of want those 3 items before you truly come online on the Jace, but he's been pretty good at accelerating his lane leads. And Ruddy, they still feel confident in this pick from the looks of things. They lock in for the Yone, and they're going to see if they can pull this one off, and we'll see what the next pickup will be here for the side of Ruddy. I think the current hover of the Rakan, which they do lock in, makes the most sense, knowing that Hido's real power pick is that Xayah. So if they give over the Xayah Rakan, they might be looking at ending their season.
Wouldn't be surprised to see a Darius on 3 for Shihan. The Poppy's already locked in, so you know you're going to get a Darius versus tank matchup if they take it. Shihan has played this numerous times through the regular season, and we've not seen him have a champion matchup where he can just dumpster a lane. If he takes a Darius here, it gives Shihan agency, which is something that we've not particularly seen from him so far this series.
Yeah.
Looks like trying to make up for the issues which we had with Ruddy's first comp was that lack of wave clear. Locking in the Ziggs bot lane, just so they can play that kind of range game. I expect this to be Ziggs bot lane. I guess there's a world where Shihan could flex the Yone top, but into Poppy, that's pretty miserable. So I think it's probably going to be.
It's a bad world where they do that, yeah.
Yeah, it's the darkest timeline, but it is a timeline nonetheless.
Yeah, I was just trying to look at some statistics for their red side drafts from Nord, but all in all, this is looking really good start for these guys as far as their comfort in these picks go. Jace is Omen has played Jace multiple times, and I do think it's a fairly decent matchup into the Yone. I think that it's similar to the Tristana matchup with 2 big exceptions. Firstly, you don't push like towers quite as well or anything like that, but secondly, more importantly, you don't have the escapes. So if you are looking to punish that and really get some like help in the mid lane, if Zapdo can pick like a high ganking jungler, I know he's been pinched quite heavily from that side, but there is actually a realm in a world where you can put some pressure in that mid, can give some help to MV Carry and help him be what he wants to be when he picks up this Yone, right? And something that Ruddy will need to have for their team to work out.
It's funny actually because we do see the Nunu ban. I know we kind of talked about it semi-jokingly, but it's something Nord are playing respect on, and it's one of those picks that you're not so used to playing into, that when it does come out, sometimes you can get caught off by it, and that's the power of those kind of more cheesy picks. Zapdo does have a bit of a specialized area for the Nocturne. To be fair, so does Indecision actually. Both of these 2 do play this pick. They are just going to ban it away. Don't want to give that over. So the Trundle is going to be the pick up here, most likely for Zapdo. I very much doubt that's going to be top lane. And with a massive pinch on that support pool, it actually looks like we're looking towards the potential for something that I thought Pui played absolutely excellently in the final week of the regular season, deciding to move away from that, going for some engage, because that's what this team is lacking, and locking in the Alistair.
And this also works a little bit as disengage as well. They've already got a lot of it with the Poppy, but if you see Yone jump into your team, he gets knocked up, he gets knocked away. That's a sad Yone. So there is that element of safety given from Seneca as well. I actually love this cannon pick if they do end up locking it in, but either way, either of these two AP tops just scream anti-dive, and when, like we've said, you've got Yone, you've got Trundle, that makes the world of difference for Nord. The X factor for Ruddy thus far is that Ziggs in the bot side of the map. He's going to be pumping damage out from afar. At the minute, tools to get onto that Ziggs, you know, Alistair, Gragas, they exist, but they're not necessarily the best. This also does mean that this is a potential double flex between the Gragas and the Poppy. Both of them can go top, both of them can go jungle.
And this draft for me from Ruddy is just screaming mid lane. Mid lane. Like you've got a bot laner here in that Ziggs who's just going to be chilling by himself and just, you know, you leave him, he'll wave clear, opens up Pui on the Rakan to move around and influence other lanes, specifically in that mid lane. You've got the Trundle pick here instead, which not only matches very nicely into the Poppy, so he can 1v1 and not get like bullied out, or he can hold his own, but it's so good up against the Jace with the pillar as well. Like there's no counterplay for Jace, and even Xayah in that ultimate can't jump over the pillar either. So we've got a lot of good tools here for Ruddy to enable Envy Carry to make that happen, and that's what I think that game plan is going to be.
I will say that there's a major difference between this comp and all the other comps that Nord have played. I feel this comp hasn't quite got that ease of execution, press your R, win the team fight buttons, which both the previous comps did have. So it's going to be interesting to see Nord now actually switching up their style quite a lot. But I do definitely agree with your point, Foxy. Especially we got a Trundle, and like Rudude highlighted, the major difference between the Jace and the Tristana is that kind of mobility, is the ability to kind of pick that Jace. You put a pillar in the right place, that Yone is guaranteed to land the CC, and then from there, Jace is pretty doomed when his AD gets chomped away from him by the Trundle, and then, you know, there's no counterplay at that point. So I'm going to be interested to see if Nord can pick this up. And if they can play this comp well, I think that cements my opinion, what I made in the last game, where I think in playoffs, they right now look like the strongest team in playoffs, just due to their ability to kind of understand their team comps and play them well.
I'm looking specifically at how well this Ziggs gets leveraged. We've seen a really good Ziggs game actually already here in the NLC playoffs. Weirdly enough, it was Verdant yesterday. They pulled out the Ziggs, and right up until they lost the game, they were playing that Ziggs beautifully. They got like 12 plates out of the possible 15, able to move the Ziggs around the map actually, and use it as a fairly proactive way of finding gold for themselves. This is an opportunity for Ruddy to try and do the same sort of thing. Alistair early on in the lane, not very powerful whatsoever, so they have got very good tools to try and push in, get plates, and move the Ziggs around the map.
And however, on the flip side, Ziggs can be a little bit vulnerable to getting dove if he's not able to like set up or whatever, and Alistair is a great choice for that, right? You sat down the ultimate and easy peasy dives onto the Ziggs without even really needing the attention from your jungler to facilitate that as well. So yeah, I definitely think putting a bit of a microscope on Toaster on that Ziggs might be useful for this game. I'm still thinking, like, for me, I really like what Ruddy's done with the draft, and specifically how it's going to play into mid, and as with the whole series in general, it's been a story of the mid lane, and I feel like now Ruddy finally have that set up to make it work here in mid, to really get Envy Carry going and to put Omen down.
Yeah, I think I totally agree. I feel that this is definitely the best draft that we've seen from Ruddy in this series. It's crazy for the simple things like just picking a Ziggs in the bot lane, just adding that wave clear option, because if you do fall behind and you're playing a comp that doesn't have that wave clear, it's just such a miserable experience. Obviously, it's a very different team coming in from Nord, but we'll have to see. But we're getting on, and the minions have spawned up, so we started out into this game immediately as mid obviously is going to be where our eyes are, but I'm going to be interested by this bot lane. Hiddo and Seneca have genuinely seriously impressed me, especially when in that previous game, going down 2 kills immediately and still able to get a gold lead, still able to play ahead in that game. Alistair doing what Alistair does at the beginning of the game. Nothing, because that's not a champion at level 1.
I'm also looking at, you know, specifically Hiddo with his Xayah. Right? We highlighted it in game number 1. You can't give him Xayah. He's been given a second chance here in game number 3, and I say second chance like he performed badly in game number 1, got a pentakill and won the game with it in game number 1, right? So got the entire regular season, through the times that he's had it so far this series, has been absolutely dominant with it. And just getting given that tool again, we look at how easy is it for teams to dive onto the Xayah, as NV carries once again struggling a little bit through this mid lane. Omar not scared of trading. But the answer for Ruddy this time a lot better. They've got good dive tools to try and get on top of the Xayah. The Rakan in particular. I'm looking at Pui, his first play for this series well on the Rakan.
They're jumping in. Envy Carry's been slowed. Indecision's chasing forwards, but there's no way he can go. As Indecision's just going to wait for this one. Envy Carry's trying to tidy up, get the chase down, trying to dash away the shields on, and Envy Carry played that really well to get away.
Oof, just about though. Loses his flash, which is crucial here. A return game could be deadly now for Envy Carry. Gonna have to bear that one in mind. And I said a lot of it was about the mid lane, and surprisingly for me, it's Nord who made the first mid lane play, and Zapdo instead went for an extra camp instead of going for a straight level 3 play. Now looking for the invade on Indecision though, should find him.
Yeah, he's looking for him, gets it off, and now Indecision with that steadfast presence, desperately trying to get away, but the red buff burning. Indecision gets heavily chunked out, and that's just a nice round there from Pui. And about Ziggs, he doesn't really need the support to be in lane with him. He can just sit back and cue the wave and clear it away. As Zapdo actually stealing a lot there from Indecision. Uh-oh.
He doesn't know. He's blind. I don't think this play should go through here though. Nord should know that a lot of Ruddy are knocking about here. Pui though, good flash. Oh, I saw that one coming. We all saw that headbutt under the tower. That could have been bad for Pui.
Say what we will about how this series has looked for Ruddy, and I think that Jake actually put a really good point on this. It's never looked like Ruddy are doing anything poorly, and the mechanics of these players is actually generally top-notch across the board. These little flashes like that, the reaction times, they're certainly on point. We've got to give credit to the players where it's due, because making yourself overextend just a little bit, snap recognizing, okay, I goofed, I need to flash to get out of here, is really good cognizant play from Pui there.
Absolutely. Pui he's been my MVP for the entire split. He's played so well. He's just consistently been, that I felt like a saving grace for Ruddy, even in their bad games. So it's really good to see him, keeping that up. Right now, getting a little bit harassed by the Poppy, but not really under any serious threat, and is able to get away. Omen, still though, we thought this game was going to be a little bit harder because, you don't have that safety tools in the jump. You have, you kind of spike a little bit later than the Tristana, but he's just saying, I don't need items, I just have more spells. So he just wins the trades off the back of that.
As we are progressing a little bit more here, 5 minutes in, it's pretty even across the board. Ziggs was a little bit behind in CS, but what do you expect when your support goes roaming for a while, and the fact that they're still relatively equal is absolutely fine there. Ruddy are going to be very, very happy with that one, and this is it. Like, Ziggs can just very easily look after himself, and doesn't have to worry or rely on a support. Should just be able to push his wave in and then go for that reset as well. As Hido's going to get jumped on, going to get caught.
It does lose a fair amount of HP there. Toaster's going to flash forward, gets the satchel back. Hido has the ghost, has the flash. Pops the flash to get away. Almost burns down to the ignite. Toaster's not sick, so he should be A-okay. Zapdo coming in, and Seneca, I think he might be in trouble here. Gets the pillar down. They may go for the dive. He has level 4 ticking over just to give him a little bit of health as Indecision's coming down, and they are just going to find first blood. Easy as you like. Zapdo flashes away from the tower juggle. Really well played there by Ruddy.
Yep, beautifully executed. And Seneca, again, a little bit akin to how we highlighted this matchup at the top of the day. Just stepping a bit too far forward when he didn't quite have the right to be doing so. Gets himself picked off for first blood. We do also get to see a bit of a foreshadow into how these team fights want to get played out for Ruddy. The power of Ziggs, not just coming from his wave play, but also his insane team fight DPS, especially when there's setup for it as well. I'm looking at Pui in particular to land that charm into knock up, layer it with the Mega Inferno Bomb, and just have an absolute obliteration of damage in a second.
And it can't be understated of just how big that play was for Ruddy there. Like, you're getting first blood onto Ziggs, which is great, able to pick up not only the chapter, but the tier as well. He's going to be easy peasy just sitting in that lane as Shihan... Actually, yeah, the phase rush is going to get him out, but I mean...
No. Kakos is in danger, the pillar's down!
I mean, Shihan with a kill there, pretty much doing all the work. A good pillar to help out, but God, that was so close, wasn't it? I thought he was gonna die. I think Kashkos maybe actually could have killed him, but
So
either
Shihan
way.
had the passive auto proc the whole time. So as soon as Kachkos walks into trade auto attacks, Shihan just heals up with the passive attack. It's actually really difficult to try and find that as a Gragas. If you don't get it with the burst, you kind of just have to run. I thought the pillar would have actually saved him, but you know, fair play to Shihan, recognizes he's got the window to get in and manages to make his way out, or make his way into the first blood of that top lane.
The Deathbringer stance actually heals so much. It's such a big one. Able to find that window. Is Kakos misplaying a little bit there, and Nord definitely making a couple of mistakes here and there in this early game. But it's a 2-kill lead. It's a 1,700 gold lead over to Ruddy. So nothing overly unrecoverable, as Nord, they have been very on it with the dragons. They have actually put 0 priority on these Rift Heralds. I believe they may have won this entire game, but most of the Heralds have actually been going over to Ruddy. Ruddy got 2 in the last game, and it feels a little bit like one of those situations where, you know, Nord are quite happy to trade this out, as Omen, so much damage down onto MV Carry. MV Carry heavily chunked out now.
I miss one mid wave, you miss 60% of your HP. Trade deals for Nord, definitely in their favour. They do get the Drake as well off the back of that, so with Ruddy, you should be fine here in this mid lane. It's more if Indecision can make anything happen. Remember the Poppy ulti at 6, only a small knock-up.
Coming in, there's the Fate Seal to safety, and that's just bought Omen so much space and survivability. He dodges out on that jump away as well. Omen spacing that really beautifully.
Doing well again. He's not quite got the same pressure as we've seen in this mid in previous games, but remember the first game, which was very much a mid diffy as well, didn't get off into any kind of roaring start like that second one's a flash engage.
Yep, looking for it. Toaster gets himself knocked up there. The feathers are down. Toaster's low HP. There's the feather storm. Pulls them back. Toaster sidestepping away from the big chunk and able to survive. Meanwhile, the world ender's popped by Sheehan as he's chasing in for the kill onto Kakos. Kakos now has no R, has no flash, has no dash. It's about to come up, but Sheehan's keeping the pressure up, and there it is. Easy kill. 2 kills up for Sheehan in the top lane.
Yeah, and we didn't really get to touch on this in the draft, but the Aatrox just beautiful versus either the Gragas or the Poppy here. Neither one of those 2 top laners would have been able to deal with this Aatrox, and once we'd asked for Sheehan to get some priority, we said, you know, R5, it needs to be securing one of these solo lanes, just an insanely good matchup. It's beautiful to see Ruddy be able to use this red side, that adaptation from games 1 and 2 to now game 3, where they say, okay, what are we going to change? It's all on Sheehan now, and with him 2 kills up to the good, largely solo kills as well for both of them. Got to give credit where it's due, because he's playing phenomenally through this early game.
Yeah, this is really, really good stuff here from the Ruddy top laner. Remember in game number 1 as well, a game which Ruddy, they lost, but they showed signs of life. A lot of that was because of Sheehan and his ability to get into specific team fights, catch people out of position. I feel like as a win condition, as a saving grace for Ruddy, he's certainly proven himself capable so far in this series, and getting off to such a good start here is only going to make that easier. This Aatrox now willing to put down a lot of pressure into the top side, as Omen now is going to get cured.
He's in danger, flashes away immediately, does not want to get himself caught out, as maybe they can turn on to Envy Carry here. They get the shot blast off, but in comes the flash from Indecision. The Fate Seal's blocked by the Steadfast Presence. He's able to survive. Indecision loses his life, though. Massive ultimate coming in from Zapdos, shredding away those resistances, as now Seneca's in danger, but Hiddo's come in to try and save the day. Mega Inferno Bomb comes down, chunks out Seneca. Zapdo limps away as Nord end out losing the trade in the mid lane, and we might not be done actually. Pui finds the knock-up, Envy Carry finds the turnaround, and Omen falls. Seneca bleeding up with just a sliver of HP. Close fights across the board. Kakos! The redemption arc.
Okay, that is the most top lane thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Kachkos is 0-2, down a level. Sheehan dies 1v1. I don't understand how that happens in top lane so frequently, but it feels like it happens every single time.
Toaster?
Sneaky Toaster, though, has used that satchel charge to get away from danger more than once this game, and should be able to just keep himself safe here as well. We do have that dragon spawning relatively soon. Soon enough that the teams are going to want to start setting up the vision and getting ready for that play. I'd have to think, though, in this situation, it's Nord who might want to be avoiding that one. And Hito, especially if he gets much lower here, he's going to have to go for a recall. Might just die.
There's the ult. He can use it to get away. Dying some time. Toaster's low HP. Here's the Hex Flash forward by Indecision. Chasing onto Zapdo. Remember, no Subjugate available to Zapdo yet, but they do want to reset. Like you said, Dragon coming up in 50 seconds. The big problem is that's a Ziggs in the mid lane. That tower's already low. One passive attack and maybe a little bit more. That tower's down.
Yeah, we need to take a look at these items at the minute, because Ruddy should have complete dominion over the entire map. We've got Divine Sunderer finish for Trundle, Gore Drinker finish for Shihan, who has teleport to make his way out of that top side if needed. Any fight that Ruddy want to take, they should be taking it. Their items are so much better at this juncture, they should just be winning everything.
Oh, Toaster losing half his health, though. Pretty rough one for him on that front. He doesn't have that teleport either. As back on the map, Hito is with that Kraken Slayer in tow, so very comfortable. Doesn't have the Featherstorm, though, crucially, which is going to be a big one. Meanwhile, a bit of a congregation in the mid lane. Massive two-man shot blast. Indecision jumps in, finds the knockup. Toaster flashes away to safety, but they're looking to get Pui. He goes down. Mega Inferno Bomb answers out those. Ruddy trade 1-for-1. Omen desperately trying to get away. Seneca needs to buy some space. Gets the stun off. Gets the pop under the tower. The shot blast onto Zapdo. Omen dodging everything. And down goes Toaster. Omen with the fancy footwork. Absolutely gorgeous. But Sheehan chasing in. Seneca's going to play body blocker. Sheehan reveals himself, and now they get a bit of damage off on to him. He's got the sustain. Pui comes in. They pop him down. Sheehan, the Gold Drinker heal is just disgusting. Q lands. Revive. Heal. Fate sealed. Into the wall they go as they do find an answer out. Envy carries being chased down, though, by Indecision as in comes Kakos. He's got the cask. He's got the chase. No flash available. Dragon is being taken in the meanwhile, though, and Zapdo will get that one for free. Hito not in position. I don't know who won that fight. That was just complete carnage.
So across the entire fight, that was a 3-for-3, if I'm remembering rightly. Gold going importantly onto Omen can never take away how important that's going to be for a Nord roster. You see Hito even losing his flash down on the spot side. Tier 1 turret in that mid lane still, you know, standing, I will say strong, but as strong as it can do with as little HP as it has for Nord. But the Drake also going to Ruddy. Given the context of the game, that's not bad for Nord, but Ruddy is still going to be very happy with how that sequence of events played out.
Yeah, I'm with 15
I guess the big thing is where the gold went. There was 2 kills onto Omen, which I think is a major thing for them. The problem is all of these towers are very low, and that's just a really easy global gold for Ziggs to pick up. There goes the first tower. He should just rotate into mid and then look to try and take that one down. Nord might find the gold lead starting to snowball away from them more than it already has. It's a 4,000 gold lead over the Nord right now.
And it is mostly everyone except that mid has a lead here for Ruddy. So at least you got a plus side there if you're a Nord fan, because obviously Omen has proven himself to be a complete nuisance in this series and really being your shining member by far. And it's just whether or not he can still leverage that and do things with it. It's just so gross. Like you mentioned that free standing gold, right, for Ziggs, and he's just gone up 2 towers just like there. It's just free. It's absolutely free for him. On the plus side, and this doesn't sound like much of a consolation, but for each tower that Toaster insta-gives, it's 1 less tower that he can insta-give in the future. So I guess, you know, there's that.
That is the biggest copium I've ever heard in my life. Like, God damn, bro.
But, you know, it's, I guess, but more seriously, like, at least with the outer towers, you know, like, it's going to be harder for him to do it.
No, Omen. He's going to have to bot back. He's able to get it for the charms on. He flashes away. Sheehan chasing him down, and Omen actually able to survive that shock blast. Is filthy onto the both of them. The Mega Inferno Bomb doesn't quite hit its mark on Omen. Able to sustain, able to survive, and even catch this wave.
Not sure why I thought that was a Jinx rocket, but it did. Sort of came in at the same sort of angle, and I was like, oh, hold on 1 second. But
Similar
with Toaster, you know, firing that one off, it means that that's 1 extra side wave that you can't go and collect.
Exactly.
For the next 2 minutes.
You get it.
Yeah. Ziggs Gaming. We've been here way too long almost. Do you remember like Season 3, Season 4 when Ziggs was the only mid laner that was meta? And you would just ult every side wave that you had your ulti available?
Uh-oh. Kakos in a little bit of danger here. Actually, gets the cast down. Zapdo chases. Kakos flashes. Fate sealed. Doesn't connect. Slows again onto Every Carry, but Every Carry has the knockup charge once again.
Champ is so cool.
That champ is so healthy.
Finally, though.
Yeah, I would pause. I would pause, bro. What did this champ just do to me? Hold on.
I hate that.
Nah, we
so
got
much.
Envy Carry finally got his play though. He's been looking for it all day, and he finally got it. So good stuff there for Ruddy. They're happy about that, as it's off to a much better start here so far in game number 3. And Ruddy have to be pleased, because obviously things are looking pretty rough for them so far in this series.
Yeah, I'm happy to see a sign of life from Ruddy as well, because it'd be so sad to see this team who have been, one of a kind of a blessing on the scene with their complete, like, their crazy banter and all the antics they get up to see them get 3-0'd by Nord in the playoffs. As much as it's great for Nord, it would be rough to see them go out in that way, because this is a very different team from what we saw last season. They had them Voxney on their roster. Someone who yesterday said I thought was one of the best ADCs in the league, and they still didn't quite have enough with them. Voxney invested in a different team this time around, pulling in a few old names and also a few new names as well. And they've struggled in this playoffs game. And I think it's something that we said a lot, but I really do want to kind of hit the point, is I don't think Ruddy are playing bad. I just think Nord are playing really well. I think that's the major difference. It's when I look at yesterday's games, I saw a lot of mistakes from both Natives and Verdant. I'm seeing just a lot of good plays coming out from from Nord here. I mean, Ruddy are also making great plays and some really good stuff, but just not quite as good. And I feel like their drafts in the first 2 games definitely bit them a little bit. Nord this time, not as much kind of ease of execution engages for them. And I think that's starting to kind of catch up with them somewhat coming into this game 3.
Yeah, it's at the point now as well where, for me, looking into the 3rd game of the series here, this could be a pivotal point for how the rest of the series is going to look, right? This is the first time that Nord have really been behind in the series. And this is it. Like, when we came into today, we were thinking this would be not necessarily dominant, but a Ruddy-sided series. And it's not been like that at all. And now that we're finally first seeing that, how does Nord respond? Because they haven't been put in this situation so far in this series. It's just not happened. They've been very dominant. They've destroyed Ruddy in the first 2 games. And we want to see if they can fight back, if they are able to show, as you mentioned before, on the flip side, that those signs of life, whether you just kind of chalk this one up to it is what it is, and look to move on. Because as well, like, the implications here, if Ruddy were able to win, the implications for Nord as you move into game 4 is, Envy carries just salty ran back the Yoni, but this time it's worked. We thought we had an answer for it, but wait, maybe we don't have an answer for it. How do you then change the draft up to actually, make sure this doesn't happen again?
It's interesting as well, because I kind of like your point about talking about, how are Nord going to play from behind, because I think a good team wins from ahead, but a great team is a team that's able to pull back a tough situation like this. So it'd be cool to see, can Nord bring this back, or are Ruddy going to show us that strength that we've been kind of hyping up? And we talked about at the beginning of the day, everyone was like, yeah, we're pretty Ruddy-centric. We admitted we were definitely leaning towards Ruddy to take this series. And so far, Nord have really kind of poo-pooed that for us and played absolutely phenomenal. As he has been the player to watch on the side of Nord. Absolutely tremendous game 1 and 2. Game 3 hasn't been bad. He's actually been trading very effectively, but still a bit of a ways from hitting that. He hasn't hit that Jace spike yet. That's the thing. Is when that 3 item comes in, you see that shot blast land onto Toaster, land onto Envy Carry. That's when we all go ooh, and you see what Jace does.
Yeah,
ooh.
It's for me as well. Like, I just want to put a highlight on Zapdo in this game. Like, I think he's really bounced back in this one.
Yeah.
He did a fair bit of trolling in the last game, and this time around he's, with his champion pick, I guess you could say he's doing the same thing. But he's just had indecisions number this time around, and they're always, whenever they're scrapping, it's Zapdo that's come out on top. And a lot of these fights or skirmishes have been won by slim margins, and Zapdo's ability to really make it happen has definitely been the difference maker here. So for me, it's really been on him in this game, and I think he's played this early out really, really well.
Well, there's the Herald down to get some pressure on to that mid lane so that they can take the tower, not the tower, so they can take the dragon. A lot of emphasis from Nord onto Dragon this entire series. As Hiddo, actually, his pathing was a little bit suboptimal there, almost walking into Pui, meaning he's separated quite a lot from the team. The pillar not really going to result in too much, and we did see that Omen was trying to catch waves, trying to catch his items. He's got the Mirror Mana fully stacked up, but they've given up all mid prio, all river prio, to jump into this mid lane and try and soak out onto this tower. And the barrel going to zone off for now. Envy Carry may look for an opportunity to jump in here. They do get the storm down. They get the knock up on to Omen. He's heavily chunked out, but finds that Q. Honey Fruit means he's going to be able to heal back up and get himself some health back before this starts to break out into something else.
I actually really like this from Ruddy. They're not giving anything back to Nord. They knew that they could have taken the Drake and potentially traded it for the tier 1 turret. They say, no, we're so much stronger than you that if we go as 5 anywhere, you have no answer to us. And quite rightly so, they step up, they defend their mid-tier 1 turret and make sure that there's nothing given back to Nord as a recompense. There's a Drake taken by Ruddy, and they lose nothing for it.
Hiddo? No, he's alright. Yeah, it does eat a pillar. Hiddo being a little bit greedy with some of his positioning as, let's see if Homan's in the shop. The answer is no, finds Envy Carry. Envy Carry gets a nice trade-off, and with She in here, Envy Carry's just going to play this nice and smart. Comes in with a Q, gets the damage off, almost hits him. If that shot blast here, Envy Carry was gone.
He missed 2 shot blasts there as well, literally. Only a single one needed to land, and that would have been it. We said it, right? You want to get to that point where you're going, ooh, with the Jace damage, but there it is. He's hit it. The Mirror Mana is complete. It's all charged up and stacked up and ready to go. My goodness, he does a lot of damage, and that is terrifying. But it is, at the end of the day, just a free kill over to Ruddy, their 10th of the game, and they are looking to really use that death time here. No TP from Omen either. This could be Nash.
Yeah, they're looking for it. There's going to be the crab secured there by the side of Ruddy as well. So they have total vision control and looking to set up for that Baron. Omen doesn't have teleport, so he's not even going to get onto the map quick enough. And Nord, they're not really in position to contest. I don't think they're even going to want to try and contest this. They know it's happening. Indecision may try and give his life for it. Yes, he does have the ultimate. There's a teleport coming in on the flank, and here comes the ult channel. Pops it, misses it, unfortunately. Baron now 3k health. Omen looking for that shot blast onto multiple members. Does connect onto just Sheehan. They get the charm off onto the flank. They're going to jump forward. Indecision trying to survive as Omen does go down. Indecision flashes away. Immediately they find a kill onto Toast in response though. Hiddo has got flash, has got ultimate, and Baron's been dissuaded. A 1-for-1 fight mid for AD carry.
Remember, they're currently on the wrong sides of the rift right here. Nord, trying to get back to their set of safety. Ruddy also probably trying to do the same sort of thing. But Nord will be able to take this tier 1 turret in the mid lane. Looks like Ruddy might attempt a trade for a tier 2. The Baron stopped though by Nord. That's a win on their book, but maybe catch cost looking menacing here.
He's standing around very menacingly. Just about defends the turret there, but it's not got a lot of health. And considering that you're going to have Aatrox or Yone pay a visit back to these side lanes, it's most likely not going to last for much longer. Another split push should bring that one down. It is very nicely done though for Nord to dissuade the Nash. It's what they wanted to do out of that situation. It was just a 1-for-1 as well. When you're behind like they are in this game, 1-for-1s, you'll absolutely take those any day of the week. Shihan could find himself in trouble here, but we do have members of Ruddy moving up to the top side. They've read this play. They're not going to let it happen.
Pillar not placed absolutely perfectly. Indecision does find himself knocked up. Seneca can't save the day. Down he goes. Jungler down. This could be Baron.
Yeah, a lot of eyes now on Omen, on Catch Cuss. How well can we see the barrel used? How well does the poke stick for Nord? Need it to do a lot of work right here. Hiddo 001. Got the 2 items.
Or immediately they jump in, they get the charm into the 2 carries. The Feather Storm's beautiful though to buy some space. Omen's already down, and Baron should just be done. They will take Pui with them as he can jump away over the wall to safety. Kakos, this is going to have to be one hell of an engage. Envy Carry forces the flash from Hiddo, and he just mispositions it. He's down. Ruddy find their opening, find their opportunity. 1 by 1, Nord shall fall. Indecision joins up. It's a delayed ace of sorts. The Baron secured, the gold lead secured, and this looks like this is Ruddy's game.
When all's said and done, every single member from Nord falls. Indecision started off getting picked there, trying to make the play happen. Not quite working out for him, and Ruddy just, honestly, such impressive control around these objectives. They just have such good patience. The engages are great as well. And that's just as I'm hyping them up. 600 gold bounty, by the way.
Yeah.
That is for Omen. That's actually, that's really quite significant. That's quite big there. Straight onto Omen. That's not a little thing at all. Not clean. Not clean.
Not just is that a 900 gold shutdown going to Omen, it's also 30 seconds now where Ruddy are delayed on the map. They're not going to be able to reset, walk out, start taking these inhibitor turrets, because they've done, again, the lion's share of the hard work before the Baron went down. All of those basic turrets outside the base had fallen pretty much before they took the Baron. Sticking around for that mid-tier 2 ends up costing Envy Carry his life, as Zapdo's now stepping forward, but getting to the point now where Omen has really got to step up. Xayah in these team fights is going to find it really difficult to auto-attack, just period, because of who she's facing against. If you're attacking a Yone, likelihood is that he's got a Q on you. Aatrox, the same thing to be said for his spells. And the Ziggs as well, just outranges everybody that Nord have got.
The thing is here, though, if you are Nord, you do have time. Like, you're not under any immediate threat or pressure to start contesting objectives or to engage on these team fights, right? Like, this is only the third Dragon of the game, sure. You don't want to be put on soul point, but it would be a terrible idea to actually initiate these fights. And we even saw that, right, in game one. It was how the game ended, right? Ruddy were behind. They tried to initiate a dragon and ended up giving the enemy ADC a pentakill.
That was so big by Seneca there. Blowing the TP from Toaster, although there may be a response play coming out. And I think
dead.
That might be one dead Mukau. He gets the knock up onto multiple people. Big lock onto Omen as Seneca just trying to avoid, trying to dodge. They're going to jump in. Hiddo is charmed, though. They find the wall bang onto him, though. The feathers come down. Pui's low. That's going to be a kill for Indecision. Hiddo's in danger. Featherstorm comes out. Kakos keeping the pressure up as they get the root down, but Omen misses the Q. Every carry flashes forward. Misses the knock-up. Omen sends him back in. And that might be an opened base now for the side of Nord.
Have to say, these Poppycopters have not been doing work. Indecision had a real good chance there to knock a couple members away from Ruddy, snap this fight into a numbers advantage, but they weren't able to do so. Just a short knock-up for no real effect. And now, 2 versus 4. Can Nord hold?
Seneca's coming in, gets himself the pop, and that is another shutdown for Omen. He's going to keep the pressure off. Shock Blast goes a little bit wide, sidesteps away. Kakos tries to jump forwards with a belly bop, but not going to hit. Shock Blast lands onto Toaster, though, and that is a massive chunk of health lost. Envy Carry jumps in. Envy Carry jumps the hell out of there. He does not want to keep the heat. Woo!
The disappointing thing as well here, though, for these failed Poppy ults, as you quite rightly pointed out there, Rudude, is, like, it's the opportunity cost of Indecision taking Poppy instead of Kakos, right? It is his best champion in the top lane. And if you're going to be picking it away from, like, the best Poppy that you have, you've got to be able to do things with it. And it has been just a little bit disappointing. More importantly, though, for Nord on the upside, another big shutdown over to Omen here. He's completed Sereldas now. He's got that armor pen. So that front line of Trundle and Aatrox that have been eating up his shock blasts. Now does even more damage to them, can actually put down some pain. Nord showing a bit of sign of life here, but Ruddy, honestly, a very, very impressive game number 3 here. They're making it a bit hard on themselves, but they are still set up to make it some good things happen.
I do want to give a little bit of credit to the both of these teams, but Ruddy in particular, right? Because of the difference, I'll say, in budget for the teams coming in. Hold on.
There they jump in. The cast comes down, sending Toaster back, and they do connect on to 1. The champ's huge. Hiddo's down, though. No opportunity. 2 kills picked up for the side of Ruddy. I think Seneca just got a little bit too happy there and went for a play, but was not ready to go down.
Once again, Omen at the Alamo. Can he defend? He's got a couple of frontliners to help him out, but it's going to be so difficult.
These shot blasts have to hit. They do land onto Toaster. That's a lot of HP lost. Indecision's going to try and clear out the way. They jump immediately on to Omen to buy some space. He's able to find himself a kill. Tower number 1's down, but the minions are dead. Massive belly bop from Kakos into the stopwatch, into Omen jumping into his potential demise. He's able to survive it just a little bit longer. Omen trying to line up that shot blast. The minion waves will do the Lord's work and keep him alive, though, as Indecision's now the one in danger. They're just trying to clear out the wave. Hiddo's back. This game is so tight.
And he does it again. Oman has been carrying Nord in the first 2 games, and he's the one dragging them through this one as well, keeping that Nexus alive as best as possible. Takes down Toaster, takes down Pui. That stop on the Nexus push is just too beautiful.
Seneca almost getting in danger. Every carry actually jumps over the wall. I didn't see the flank. They TP'd in behind. They really want to kill this Yone. But they don't have time. They've got 2 waves of supers pushing into the base.
That could have been so good. That was the opportunity. You know, Nord saw that window. It was very small, but they took it. Unfortunately for them, not going to work. Ruddy read that one brilliantly.
It's a
this
really
Baron
good escape
has
from
spawned.
Carry.
Yeah, it was really, really nice. Like, he read it and just ulted out. And now should be a free Nash here. Indecision's nowhere near. You've got Hido in the base as well. Don't make the mistake of trying to contest this one, Nord. There's no point. It might not be ideal to lose the Nash here. Also means that you're probably going to be fighting up against a Nash empowered team when it comes to this.
Oh no,
this Dragon Soul. But yeah, it's okay. This is it. This next like 1 minute will decide the game. Nord need to pull out the miracle team fight here to find it and to salvage game 3.
We're a real big chance of TP backdoors. Envy Carry and Shihan both have it ready. They don't manage that top wave. Ruddy can just TP in and end the game.
They're pinging it.
Yeah, I think that's the pings.
The pings
someone needs to reset. Someone has to reset on Nord. They're going to do it. But this means Soul. Nord have to recognize that Soul is probably the worst case scenario for them. They are able to get back 1 member to deal with these waves. But that is no teleport on Kakos, and that's Soul over the side of Ruddy.
It's Soul instead of game. So it feels awful to do this, but you know that that's what you have to do so that you don't lose to that double TP.
Absolutely. But Hido gets himself pinned, has to flash. It is a struggling situation right now for Nord, and 1 wave remains, 1 tower remains outside of those Nexus towers. And Ruddy, they're playing the game by the book. They're going to just send most of their team into this bot side while they have Envy Carry shoving in the mid lane, and down goes another inhibitor. Nothing Nord are going to be able to do from this apart from maybe go for a desperation engage. Zapdo's already chunked. He's already down. They found themselves 1 kill. Pui trying to get away. Envy Carry finds himself a pretty big knockup. Hido does have the ultimate. Indecision gets on to 1. Knockup landing onto Shihan. There's the Fate Steel. Goes a little bit wide. GA not popped though. Cackle's able to survive. Shihan healing up so much HP. They're keeping him alive. He refuses to go down. Seneca can't do anything. Hido has to make the hero play happen, but he's unable to do so. The sustain, the healing is too much. Ruddy find themselves their win. They take down Nord. We're going to game 4.
Ruddy is still alive, showing us pretty much all of nothing